In today's Health Watch, we are looking at a measles outbreak in Texas. This has some people troubled. Officials have confirmed 48 different cases, most of them in Gaines County. That's near Lubbock, Texas. According to the CDC, these cases have been found not only in Texas this year, but actually 4 additional states as well. You see them on your screen. And the list of states is growing after New Mexico's health department recently confirmed a case there as well. We are joined now by CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder, who's also KFF Health News editor-at-large for public health. For more on this, Dr. Gounder, thank you very much for being here. What's behind the spike in Texas in particular?
This is what happens when you do not vaccinate. This is a measles outbreak that began in a very close-knit rural community, Mennonite community, that has very low vaccination rates. And unfortunately, we have seen vaccination rates, exemptions rather, for vaccination rates really soar in Texas in recent years.
So overall, vaccination rates have declined, but only slightly nationally. So you're worried about this pocket of high non-vaccination. But talk to me nationally. Are these declining rates a sign that we could see a wider outbreak?
With measles, which is what we know of as being the most contagious infectious disease out there, you need very high levels of vaccination to prevent an outbreak. So even a dip from 95% coverage to 93% coverage can leave you vulnerable to having outbreaks. And I think it's really important to emphasize that the measles vaccine is highly effective. Two doses gets you to 97% protection effectiveness against developing measles infection. It is highly, very safe. We've seen hundreds of millions of doses given over the years worldwide. And when you do not get the vaccine, that is when you have the risk of hospitalization and death. And in this particular outbreak, we've already seen 3 people hospitalized out of 48. That's over almost 30%. Historically, it was 1 in 5 or 20%, so it's even higher than what we've seen historically. And historically, before we had vaccines in the 1960s, between 400 and 500 people died every year from vaccination.
People may forget that. Yeah, it's MMR on the vaccination sheet. My kids all have it. If you're looking for it, it might be under that acronym. If people are concerned they've been exposed or their children have been exposed, what symptoms should they look for?
So usually symptoms begin about 7 to 14 days after exposure. It starts with cold-like symptoms, but I want to be very clear, this is not just a cough cold. And then about 2 to 3 days after symptoms begin, you get these little white spots inside the mouth. Then you can get this rash, which is sort of a flat, blotchy, red rash, usually starts around the face and spreads to the rest of the body. And then you can get fevers that are as high as 104.
Wow.
That's when you start to worry. And the infection can spread and cause severe disease in the brain, sometimes leaving somebody with cognitive issues, with deafness. It can spread to the lungs. So this is really not a minor infection. And what we've seen recently, KFF polling found that currently about 17% of parents have skipped or delayed a vaccine dose. This is up from about 10% just 2 years ago. So we're really seeing a lot of exemptions, concerns about vaccination that are not warranted.
That's a big change. All right, we'll keep following it. Dr. Gounder, thank you very much for now.